I'm going to give you 3 reasons why the XM is the best performance plug-in hybrid ever. Not only does it perform with outrageous exterior styling, and I mean 23-inch wheels. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Ride, and whether you like this vehicle or not, we all have to agree this is one of the most performance vehicles out. I'm getting 30 miles full electric range with that plug-in system. The front, you have the 2-part for your headlamp assembly, full LED that integrates into the iconic kidney grille. It's larger, it's wider. Now, even though this is an in-your-face vehicle, a con that I have right off the bat is this is slower X5 M competition, which is around 20 to 30 grand less than this. So if you were in this price point, would you option this or the X5M competition? Drop a comment of what you would do. The lower keeps the box structure, front and rear parking sensors with a 360-degree reverse camera. And the nice thing about that system is it also has a car wash view because you want to keep this thing clean. I mean, when you're talking a base price around 160 grand, now you don't have to worry about scratching these enormous wheels. Underneath the hood is what's special though, because it's a 4.4-liter BMW M-Powered Turbo V8 plug-in hybrid. Now the combustion engine offers 483 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque. It's a lithium ion that is producing 194 horsepower with 207 pound-feet of torque, giving us a combined 644 horsepower and 590 pound-feet of torque paired to an 8-speed M-Steptronic automatic transmission reaching 4.1 seconds BMW's quoting. A top speed at 155 miles per hour and up to 168 miles per hour, which is 7 miles per hour less than the label, which gets 738 horsepower and 738 pound-feet of torque. That's dropping the 0 to 60 to 3.6 seconds, according to BMW. For me, I mean, normally I would say go that route, but the reason why I would choose this is because it's the sweet spot. You're in that mid 160 range, you have the performance, you have a plug-in hybrid that gets over 40 MPGEs combined. Unfortunately, when you only use the gas, you're like 12, 14 MPGs. But you're not gonna be concerned about that when you're paying in the mid $100,000 to $200,000 price point. Considering you're getting around 30 miles full electric range, but when I'm thinking performance, I have to drop it down to the X5M competition. Let me know your thoughts on that. And to add to that wow factor, we have these 23-inch M geometry wheels with the red brake calipers housing 6 pistons, because this thing isn't light. It weighs over 3 tons. M chassis, and of course you have the adaptive M suspension with the M Sport differential intelligent all-wheel drive, which is the X-Drive that can send up to 100% of power to the rear wheel. Dynamic damper control with rear axle air suspension. M-Tune electric power steering, 3-dimensional diamond quilted exterior for the door handles, and they also put the same shape in the interior for the headliner with the ambient lighting. So when you add all of that formula together, you have a true sports car that's lifted up into an SUV, making it one of the most unique vehicles of its kind. The rear is gonna have standard LED taillights with laser-edged BMW symbols on the rear window, and the lower vertical quad exhaust tips, which was a first back when it came out in 2023. Taking me to the first reason why this is the best plug-in hybrid ever is all of that styling elements and in performance in one package. It looks more dynamic to the mechanically inclined X5 that it's off of. And when I'm considering the two, for me, the problem I have is I probably would go into the X5M competition. I know I'm losing some horsepower and torque, quite a bit actually, but in the same aspect, I'm getting a quicker 0 to 60, and I'm getting pretty much the same MPGs and towing capabilities, and I don't have to worry about a plug-in variant. But the unique thing about this is it's something special, because when you go XM, it's kind of like going to an XB7 on an X7. You can't justify why you want it. You just want it because it's a vehicle that you lust for, and yet the performance that comes out of it with the luxury is more exquisite than anything in its class. Power lift gate going into 18.6 cubic feet of storage. It's gonna sit up a little bit, but that's also to be expected. You get a 12-volt charger with a bag for your plug. With the privacy cover, you do have to go into the back to fold these seats down at a 60-40 split or a 40-20-40 split to maximize the cargo to the XM. The key fob for the XM, 20-way power seat adjustment for the driver and passenger, heated, ventilated massage, ambient lighting that's going to be in the seat. It is sport bolstered, but it's a comfortable ride. Memory for the driver and passenger. The dashboard is definitely going to be a driver-focused setup because this is mechanically inclined with the X5. So the BMW Curve 1 Panel 2 screen layout. Let's fire it up. So this screen is a 14.9 infotainment screen, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio. You can also do YouTube, so if you want to watch a review, you could do it in your car and putting it into reverse. You get a 360-degree reverse camera, full trajectory for the front and the rear with backup assist. Click onto the more and you can change to the 3D view. Now we do have the gesture, so you can simply use gesture control, or you can simply click on these bullet points here on the sub menu or use the iDrive to roll all around it. Click back into the more and you got the car wash view that'll show the trajectory for the front so you don't scratch these 23-inch wheels. It's pretty crazy how big they are. Quad climate control settings, carbon fiber that's going to be surrounding throughout with the M badging and the ambient lighting that's going to be housed throughout the interior. And I do like the design that is laid out because it's very sporty with the Bowers & Wilkins upgraded sound system, heads-up display, auto-dimming rear view mirror, and a large panel moonroof with the ambient lighting surrounding it. Leather wrap steering wheel, it's heated M-spec multi-function with the M1 and M2 paddle shifts as well as real paddle shifts to change the gears. And what I mean by real, this is for your gears, this is just for your driving mode. So you can set and operate the vehicle differently. So you can go into your setup here and you can change the configuration to make it as sporty as you like. And once you click onto the sport, you can hear the vehicle click on. It's a hybrid. In a 12.3 digital gauge cluster, we do have AR. When you click into your sub-menus, you have a lot of different content that you can change, as well as changing the size or the view of the heads-up display. Going into a wireless charging pad, USB, 12 volt, and these cup holders are heated and ventilated. Carbon fiber coming into play, and you get an actual gear lever instead of a rocker when you go XM, and you can make the exhaust a little bit more loud. It's going to be more soft here, opens up into a medium-sized storage pocket. It's the same thing as the X5. There isn't any pass-through, and you can close this up so it's more seamless. As for headroom, it's good. I'm at 6'3". The same thing with leg room. And the door is going to have the Bowers & Wilkins upgraded sound system. It's an aluminum mesh with a long storage pocket and a beverage holder carved out and a hidden storage pocket for the driver. Soft closed doors, and it should be for this price. The opening, you have a ton of space, which is the second reason why this is the best plug-in hybrid ever. Look at the interior space you have opposed to that X5M competition. Quad climate control, heated rear seats, USB ports, 12 volt storage tray, air vents, more USB ports, more air vents, and storage behind both of the front seats. Headroom is good. Same thing with leg room. And the door is going to have the same segment that's found in the front, except the way the door handle is. Look how it just flows inside. So you could put your lunch, your dinner, and your drink all tucked in with your cell phone here up at the top. Sliding into the center, the floor isn't flat, but you have a ton of space because this is basically an X5 with more power. Butt, leg, and shoulder space, not an issue, nor is headroom. 644 horsepower, untapped. 590 pound-feet of torque. I mean, let's go. boy, oh boy, a soundtrack that filters in. 4.1, 0 to 60 is what BMW is quoting. A near 50-50 weight distribution on a vehicle that weighs over 3 tons. That is insane. Look at this thing go. It's just, oh my God, look at the exit. She roars. Otherwise, it's super quiet. The sound deadening is awesome. The comfort, I'm riding on 23-inch wheels. I don't feel any imperfections in the road. And this is the beauty about BMW, the curves in the roads. It just literally wants to be fed. It is amazing. Now on the downside, if you are only using it with gas, not the hybrid, you drop 14 mpgs combined. It is insane. But if you use both, you get 46 mpge, so it is good in that category, and you can get 30 miles full electric range, which is kind of unheard of when you're considering the power that you're getting underneath the hood of this thing. It is crazy. Massage seats, 20-way power seat adjustments, full leather. I like the 3-dimensional diamond pattern design that's on the handles, on the headliner, the ambient lighting. They just did a good job crafting everything together. And now we have it in hybrid. It's still quick. This feels like a base X5 when you're just in full electric and you're not having to worry about using any of your MPGs. Obviously, I would do the combo because that's really where it's at. You're getting the full power underneath the hood. But the fact that you can drive this like a Toyota is insane. But on a con, when you're driving full electric, you can hear some of the road noise. So for me, I would just turn it back into sport mode, or at least comfort, so that way it kind of gives you a little bit more sound deadening inside. I like that we have the AR for the gauge cluster. The heads-up display is enormous. You can see everything there, especially when you're using for the eco mode, because it'll show you the percentage that you're using so you can get a little bit more range. Now going into some pros, we have the upgraded Bower & Wilkins. So that has 20 speakers with 1,475 watts. That itself is nuts. Standard is a Harman Kardon with 16 speakers, but the wattage is dropped to 464, which is definitely a con to me at this price point, taking me, like I was saying on the exterior, to the big problem. The X5M competition, I know it's only 617 horsepower. It's freaking nuts what you're getting there, and you get a little bit better MPGs. Obviously, you're not going to get the MPGEs for the combined that you get here, but you got a ton of savings there, and the performance is just untapped. It's hard for me to put in price perspective, 160 to 200 grand when you have the X5M competition that is just as good as this. And that, I think, is the big turn down for me, because everything in the interior, I want this in the X5. But the engine performance, I'm good with both, because it's more than enough power, and they're both insane with the 0 to 60s and the top speed. You're gonna be a little bit faster when you go into the X5M competition, but then when I'm thinking competition, you don't really have a lot in this segment that just goes this crazy in full-blown performance for a plug-in hybrid variant, which that's the third reason why this is the best plug-in hybrid ever. Similar to the M5, I know it weighs like a tank, but I really think BMW is doing a good job because they're keeping the V8 alive with a twin turbo, and they're putting batteries with it, so it supplements getting you better MPGs. There's not a lot of brands that's doing this, because when you go into Mercedes, I mean, they're doing 4 cylinders that has crazy power, but when you think about the size of that engine, I mean, what do you think? Drop a comment about that. And unfortunately, with cons, it's hard to find a lot of problems when it comes to the XM, because they have really tailored the interior and everything very well. Turn radius is gonna be about 2 lanes. Let's rock and roll. And that V8 twin turbo is definitely something that's gonna get you a speeding ticket. The nice thing though is you know that you're going fast because it's so loud. The con is when you're in a hybrid, it literally, you can't hear nothing and then all of a sudden you hear that roar. It's kind of scary, you obviously get used to it, but the seat comfort, the ride, it feels long and wide, but it's definitely an everyday sports car lifted up. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, and if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Check out the next video, merchandise, website, and Instagram. Leave a comment and a like. And I'd like to thank BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2025 BMW XM for our car review.